Hi, good evening. My name is Ariana, and I want you to imagine what it's like being a 6-year-old trying to read your hardest, but no matter how much you practice, the words still seem to move around and make no sense. Your classmates are reading chapter books while you're struggling with simple sentences. Now imagine no one realizes why you're struggling for several more years. Unfortunately, this is the reality of students with dyslexia. Today, I want to persuade you that schools should require universal dyslexia screening in elementary school because early identification helps students succeed academically and improves their confidence and gives them the skills and support that they need to succeed. First, let's talk about early identification and why it's so important. According to the International Dyslexia Association, dyslexia is one of the most common learning disabilities that affects a person's ability to read, spell, and decode words. However, dyslexia has nothing to do with intelligence. Many students with dyslexia are very bright and simply learn differently. The problem is that many students are not identified until they have already spent years struggling in school. During that time, they may have begun to believe they're not smart enough or simply need different instruction. These students often fall behind and struggle to catch up with their peers. The Child Mindset Institute explains why many students with dyslexia continue to fall behind because of their reading difficulties and are often mistaken for laziness or lack of effort. By the time they receive help, they may have already experienced years of frustration and low self-esteem. Second, early intervention can make a huge difference in a child's education. The National Center of Improving Literacy explains why students that receive intervention early have a much better chance of developing strong reading skills before they fall too behind of their classmates. Early instruction is also much more effective than waiting until students have experienced years of academic difficulty. The Colorado Education the Colorado Department of Education also explains identifying dyslexia early allows students to provide targeted instruction and accommodations to help students be more successful during their education. Instead of constantly feeling frustrated, students receive the support they need to improve their reading skills and build confidence. When students are successful, they are more likely to enjoy learning and participate in class. Finally, schools should require dyslexia screening for every elementary student. Some people even believe students are too young to be screened for dyslexia. However, the International Dyslexia Association states that this is a myth. Research shows that early signs of dyslexia can be identified before a student starts begin reading failure. Early screening does not diagnose every student, but it helps identify additional support. When I talk about dyslexia, I am not just talking about something that I researched, but something I'm talking about that I have experienced myself. I wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia until 4th grade. Before that, I knew I was struggling, but I did not know why. Reading was harder for me, and it seemed to be easier for everyone else. Sometimes I mix up letters and struggle to read fluently. I have much I have worked much harder than my classmates just to keep up. After diagnosis, things started to make more sense, and I finally understood that I wasn't lazy or unintelligent, but my brain simply processed language differently. When, Once my school knew what was going on, I was able to get accommodations that helped me succeed. I was given extra time on test assignments, and this allowed me to actually know instead of being limited in how quickly I can read. Eventually, those accommodations for my dyslexia didn't disappear. I still work harder than people may realize. In fact, now I do college work and I often receive extended time on exams because of my reading and processing information can take me longer. Although these accommodations don't give me an advantage, they simply make the playing field and demonstrate my knowledge. Looking back, I often wonder how differently my school years would have been if I wasn't identified sooner. If someone had recognized the signs before 4th grade, I could have received support earlier and avoided the years of confusion and frustration. This is my biggest reason why I believe elementary schools should require screening for each student. By providing early screening, schools can reduce academic struggle, improve student confidence, and help students reach their full potential. In conclusion, dyslexia affects millions of students, but early identification can change a student's future. We've discussed why dyslexia often goes unnoticed, how early intervention improves academic success, and why schools should require universal screening. I encourage you to support the policies and promote early dyslexia screening in schools and advocate for students who learn differently. A simple screening can open the door for resources, confidence, and opportunity that every student deserves. Thank you.